As young kids or as babies, our minds were sponges. Our minds were absorbing anything that came inside our sponge. We had no filter. Whatever was told to us, any opinions, we just took it in and that's what it was. We didn't allow ourselves to independently ask, why did they say that? Or is that really how I feel? We didn't have that ability at a young age. And when we get to a certain point in our lives, we have to squeeze the sponge. We have to take out the things that no longer speak for who we are and what we think we think. You know what I mean? So when it comes to our lives, sometimes we have these foundational things in our minds. Sometimes we have these things we say we have strong opinions about, but it was just something our parents told us, or something the TV told us, or something that we haven't even assessed for ourselves. So what I want us to do today is to assess our past, to assess our foundation. You see, a long time ago we were told certain things that we didn't get a chance to assess. For example, we were told at a young age Santa Claus brings us presents on Christmas, and we were waking up at so and so time to wait for Santa Claus to bring us our presents. So we would wait with our cookies and our milk and wait for the white guy with the beard to come with his presents and eat your cookies. But eventually, our sponge minds realized, no, Santa Claus isn't real. It might have been from a friend. It might have been from realizing after staying up that night with your milk and cookies that he didn't show up. But regardless, you understood that Santa Claus isn't real. Or at least forever. There was that real Santa Claus in that history, whatever it was. But we understood that what we were told at a young age wasn't true. But we have to understand is we have to squeeze our sponge even more. We can't just let it be little childhood things that are obviously not true anymore, but there are foundational things that we have to understand we have to have our own opinions for, or else we'll be having a life that was made for somebody else. We'll be going through things and somebody else's ideas or opinions. One of my favorite quotes comes from one of my favorite rappers, Montana of 300. It says, by quote, it says, someone you never met made up your mind. And if we're going off that quote and we think about that quote and we believe that quote, we have to reassess everything we ever thought, anything we ever think is foundational in our lives. We have to reassess it. We have to look at it and ask, why do I think this? And is this really true? Do I really believe this? And if we can do that, then we can begin to understand who we truly are and who we truly want to be when we look out into the future or in the present tense. So when you look at maybe your religion, your political party, or your preferences, I want you to reassess what that is. I want you to say, okay, I'm a Christian. Okay, let me see if I actually love the Christian religion, or my mom was telling me I need to get baptized. Now, I'm not telling any of you to just abandon what you were told at a young age. They were told to you for a reason. But I want you to love it the best way you can love it. If you don't really have an independent feeling about something, then it's not truly your feeling. There's some shoes in my shoe collection, some Jordans that I bought a lot. The past probably like 2-3 years, I was buying a lot of Jordans, and there were some of them that honestly I look at now, I'm like, those Jordans don't even look cool. Like they they don't even fit none of my outfits. I was just buying it because people were saying, bro, you gotta cop these. And so if I was to really assess my situation, if I was to assess my Jordans in my collection, I wouldn't have bought those. But now that I'm in the present, now that I'm in the future of that situation, I can now sell those Jordans for money because I decided to assess the situation. And that's what I want y'all to do with everything you've been taught in the past. There are so many things that have been drilled to us, so many things that have been told, this is how things go, this is how things go. But if you want to do something different with your life, if you want to change how you live your whole life, then you have to reassess your past. If you can get to the root of why you dislike or like something, then it'll make it easier for finding something else that you may like or dislike in the present or in the future. For example, during my high school days, or throughout my whole life, in the beginning of my life, I was a baseball player, and I played second base. That's just what I did. I played second base. And when I hit I think it was my sophomore year, I was playing second base. I was having some problems. I don't know what it was. It was a mind thing, but I loved going out and catching fly balls in foul territory. I loved making that play where I had to catch balls with my left arm all the way over here and catching balls. Now, a usual thing that a second baseman does is ground balls, ground balls, ground balls. But I love the fly ball portion of it that I got rarely. And so when I look back in my life, and I eventually switched to center field my sophomore year, I eventually went to center field, and I loved it because I got to keep catching fly balls. I got to do what that one particular thing I liked about second base was. I got to do that every single play. You see, I might have could said I just don't like playing baseball. I could have said I don't like second base. I could have said a lot of things. But if I can assess and look at the root of why maybe I was disliking something and look at the portion that I did like, then I can make a change to a center field and love every part of it. So when you look into your life, I'm not telling you to say, oh, everything that was taught to me before, I'm not with that anymore. No, look at it and then get to the root of why you're doing it or why you like it. And then you can make an assessment for yourself that's independent. Then you can make a change in your life that is best for you, that you may love in the future. So now that you understand how to assess your past, you have to do that on your own. I can't give you a specific way to assess your past, but if you can make an effort to look into your past and understand that somebody else made up your mind, then you can make an assessment, and now you can make an assessment on your present tense work. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Root of Everything podcast. I truly appreciate y'all for tuning in to hear me talk. If at any moment you enjoyed what I was saying, please hit the like button, comment what you think, and hit the subscribe button. If you want some more content and consistent updates, go to our website, rootofeverything.com, and you can also subscribe to our weekly newsletter called The Weekly Root.